All right, welcome along. My name is Gediminas, and I welcome you guys to our weekly training Zoom broadcast. And today we've got a very, very interesting topic. We're going to talk about the seven um, aspects or seven most common attributes of high performing individuals. So I'm actually going to take this from a book called The Charge by an amazing man called Brendan Burchard. If you haven't heard of Brendan, do Google him, do search him on YouTube. He has loads of amazing videos, amazing training materials. You can follow him on Facebook. He does a lot of stuff there too. He has millions of followers and people who watch his stuff, etc. So really, really amazing guy. He's written a number of books. I've read a couple of his books, really, really good. And this is from one of the books that I recently read by him called The Charge. Okay, so these seven things are really, really great. And I've been noticing them in different places, but it was the first place where I saw them all in one place. So I thought, it would be a great idea to share them with you guys. So hope you'll get value from that. And maybe as I'm going through these attributes, you can start thinking, do I have this attribute? Do I show this attribute in my behavior, in my life, etc.? Do I need to work maybe on this area in my life? Because again, most people who Brendan calls them charges because they live the charged life, which is a full life, life to the max, life where you're happy, passionate about your life, etc. I call them high performing individuals, but whatever you call these people, these are successful people who achieve a lot in life, who live a life that they're happy about, etc. Right? So you want to develop these as you're going along, not just for your business, but for your personal life as well. Okay, so the first attribute that these charges show that they are observant in the moment, right? So these people, they learn from the past, but they don't live in the past, right? So these people, know how to enjoy the moment. They have, the sort of behaviors or the sort of attitudes they show are the attitudes of curiosity, of spontaneity and flexibility. They don't rush to judge what things mean, right? Because we know that the way we react to things is by meaning that we are assigned to it, right? If we assign a meaning that this is horrible, then we're going to react badly to that. If we assign the meaning that this is interesting and curious, then that's how we're going to react to that. So number one, they don't rush, they don't assume things, right? Instead, they try to see for, of how things are. These people very often show traits like being more patient, more tolerant, more receptive, in whatever comes their way, whether it's towards people or towards situations or towards challenges that happen in their life, etc. They are more creative, and they have more what I call behavioral flexibility, right? Because people who are stressed all the time in life, very often they have very rigid way of doing things. So they do only things in one way, and that's the only way they can do things, right? And when they can't do things the way they want to do, that's when they get stressed out. That's when they get pain, and they get hurt and things like that. But people who are successful in life, very often they have this trait of behavioral flexibility, where if I can't do it this way, then I'll try this way, and then I'll try that way, and I'll try from this angle and from this angle, until they find a way how to solve that solution, that problem or that challenge, etc. Right? And these people understand the journey is as important as the destination. That's why they live in the moment, right? So there's so many people who are successful people in many respects in life, but when it comes to enjoying their life, they don't enjoy their life ever, because they always set a goal and they go, well, when I make that money, I'm going to be happy. Or when I have that house. You can't hear me? Oh, shoot. All right. 11111. Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me? You can type in the chat if you can hear me. Anybody? One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? One, two, three, one, two, three. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Hi, hi, hi. If you can hear me, guys, just type in a chat box that you can hear me, because my thing shows that everything should be working. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can anybody hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Oh, so Emma's saying that she can hear, but she's driving. You can hear me now? Did you hear anything that I said at the beginning? Yeah, you heard most of it, yeah? Okay, okay, cool. All right, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there, right? So that was number one. The number one attribute is that the high-performing individuals are observant and they live in the moment. Okay, number two, the second attribute is that high-performing individuals are future-oriented, right? So these people, even though they live in the moment, they have grand visions and grand ambitions, right? So what that means is that these people they're always striving towards something. They're always trying to achieve something. They're always trying to reach something bigger, to create something huge. I did a little post on my Facebook today about belief and, believing in big things. There's so many people who go like, I don't believe that I can hit that income level. I don't believe that I can have that huge team. I don't believe that this thing. And if you don't believe it can happen, it will never happen. So first thing is we have to increase our vision, increase our scope. What could you achieve if you really want, to the max? If everything worked out towards your advantage, what could you get, right? And make these grand visions, right? And these people also, they are like a magnet because they create these optimistics. They're optimistic about the future and they look towards achieving things, etc. Then they attract these things as well to their life, and they're enthusiastic about things that are going to happen, about all the possibilities out there, etc. They feel empowered because of that positivism to take those steps necessary to achieve those things in the future, etc. To turn their dreams into realities, right? And whenever they come across challenges or problems, they always look at these things as solvable. They never go, oh, that's it, I give up, I can't do this. They always look for ways to solve those challenges and to solve those problems, right? And they look at it as solvable. So if you have a mentality that every problem in the world has a solution, then you're not going to be knocked down by it. You're not going to get disheartened by it. You're not going to get, stressed about it, because you're going to be like, it's okay. It's like whatever comes my way, I'm going to tackle it. I'm going to, solve it. I'm going to handle it, right? So that's number two. The third thing that high-performing individuals do, they are challenge seekers, right? Now, that might sound to you as counterintuitive. Like most of people, they're trying to avoid challenges, avoid problems, because number one, they call them problems, right? Most people call challenges problems, and that's already a wrong word to use, because when you call something a problem, it causes all of those negative things that you think when you think of problems. If you call it a challenge, it changes the way you look at it. But these people are actually actively seeking challenges, right? They look for novel challenges in their life, because they know that novel challenges, new challenges that they come across is like a brain candy, right? These people, the high performing individuals, they take pleasure from actually, tackling new challenges and overcoming new difficulties, etc. Right? Because they know that if they want to live a full life, they have to stretch, they have to express and realize themselves, and they can only do that through new challenges, through going out of their comfort zone, etc. Because if you live in that little shell of a comfort zone, these people know that they could never achieve what they want to achieve, right? And they rise to the demand of any situation. So if they don't know something, they go and learn it. If they don't, if they're afraid of doing something, they do it until they overcome the fear. So they rise to the challenge of whatever that challenge can come up in their life. And, let's face it, sometimes in life, we're going to get exposed, or we're going to get knocked down by some huge challenges. I'm not just talking, rejection. That's nothing. There's going to be deaths in our lives, and there's going to be, loads of bad, different things that are going to happen, hugely challenging, right? But whether we come across them and whether we cope with them and rise to that challenge, or give in and go, that's it, I'm defeated by this challenge, will determine whether we reach the things we want to reach, etc. Right? And these people are very often, they are playful, they enjoy life, as it's happening, right? So it's really, really important to try and develop that type of mentality and that type of attribute in ourselves. Okay. Attribute number four is that high-performing individuals are deeply interested in and authentically connect with others, right? So relationships play a huge role in those people's lives, right? Whether it's in business or in personal life, etc. Right? So these high-performing individuals, usually they just simply love people to begin with, right? They really enjoy spending time around people, communicating to people, etc. Right? They have a curiosity for other people, and they respect others. Doesn't matter what background they come in, or what sort of color or nationality or creed or whatever these people came from. They respect everybody for who they are, right? These people ask a lot of questions, and they listen to people. They listen to their dreams, to their fears, and to their daily realities, etc. And that's for us as network marketing professionals, as people whose business is basically people. This is probably one of the most important attributes. Learning to become curious in people, not just trying to push our agenda onto other people and our ideas and our opportunity, but actually listening to people. What does this person want from life? What is his or her dreams? What are their desires? What do they want to achieve? How can I help this person? How can I change their life? Right? Not from my point of view, but from their situation. How can I help this individual? Right? Hugely important. These people focus intently on others. They have deep, meaningful relationships with people, so it's not that, oh, you're only my friend if you're making money to me, if you're in my downline, and I'm getting paid on your effort, then you are my friend. But if you suddenly stop doing my business, or you go to another company, God forbid, then you're my enemy number one. I hate you now, right? How is that fair? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Think about it. If we both go to shop at Tesco's every single day, and from tomorrow I go, look, I'm going to go to Sainsbury's now instead, and you go, you're not a friend to me anymore. I hate you now, right? I'm not going to talk to you anymore, right? Would that make sense to you? No, it wouldn't. So how can we unfriend people if they join other businesses, or they do other projects, or they stop doing, and stop making you money, etc. Right? So sometimes it's like we get too involved and we forget what's important in life, etc. Right? These people are very often seen as more outgoing, more extroverted, but again, very often it's developed. They were not born like that, etc. These people look for opportunities to connect with people, to learn from people, to grow with people, to share with people, to sharing everything that they can about themselves, and piece of their life with these people. They know that relationships are probably the most important thing in their life. At the end of their life, they're not going to look at the houses they bought or the cars they bought, etc. They're going to look at the meaningful relationships they had in their life and the special moments they experienced because of those meaningful relationships, right? So that's attribute number 4. Attribute number 5 is the high-performing individuals are self-reliant, right? They are self-reliant. So what does that mean, self-reliant? Well, it means that they are very independent and very resourceful. So number one, these people try to become as independent as possible, but they're also resourceful. And resourcefulness is hugely important in business and in life. There is no there's no situations that there is no way out of. But most of the time, it's just people who are in unresourceful states where they go like I don't know what to do, I give up, etc. Instead of looking for another way, instead of looking for another opportunity, instead of looking for a different aspect and different angle, right? So being resourceful is hugely important in business, because if you are not resourceful, if you're faced with a challenge, like you need to find people to join your business. And if you are an unresourceful person and you only been told one way how to find people, and if that way doesn't work, you'll go, well, I give up, this business doesn't work. But a resourceful person would go, well, how else can I find people? Where else can I go to meet people? How else can I use internet maybe to find people, etc.? So they will use their resourcefulness to find different ways of how to connect to people, how to find people, etc. And that's really, really huge. Okay. And these people are also, they don't feel responsible for making everybody around them happy, right? If it means compromising their own values, right? So what that basically means, they are confident enough in themselves, and they're self-reliant enough where they don't have to please everybody at all times. Because very often I think people fail in network marketing, for example, in home-based business, is because they are so used to pleasing other people that, they go like, oh, I don't want to talk to people because that's going to inconvenience them. I don't want to show my opportunity to other people because they might, be unhappy or laugh at me or reject me, etc. Who cares about that, Because I've never had a different answer. When I ask somebody in business, I say, hey, when you're making £10,000 a month, £15,000 a month, £20,000 a month, will you care what other people think of you? And invariably, everybody says to me, no, I won't care what anybody else thinks of me, right? Because I'm successful, I made it, etc. So I go, well, why do you care about what they think about you now then? What difference does it make, right? Because if you wouldn't care when you're making the money and you're living the life of your dream, why would you care now that you need to make this life happen, right? Because most of those people that you're going to talk to, they don't have what you want to have anyway, right? It's not like they are at that place, right? They are in the same place that you are. So if you want to break away from the mold and achieve something else, then it's only, you don't need to care what other people think of you, right? And these people always try new ideas. They fail forward, right? So they try something and they go smack, flat on their ass, on the ground. And they go, okay, that didn't work. Let me pick myself up and try and do something else and try and do something else. So they fail forward. By doing things and by things not working out, they learn more and they can keep adapting until they find a way that it works. But guess what? Most people who fail are not people who tried loads of different things and failed too many times in life. These are the people usually who don't ever try anything new, right? They got a job and they've been at that job for years and years. I remember when I came to UK, and one of the first jobs that I had was working as a security guard in Abbey National. Now it's Santander, right? And I remember the first day I arrived at work and there was this guy training me up, and this guy's name was Trevor. And I said, Trevor, so I said, what do you do here, right? And he goes, well, I do exactly the same thing that you're going to be doing here. And I go, well, how much are you getting paid? And he goes, well, I get paid exactly the same amount as you're going to be paid. I go, okay. So I go, how long have you been here? And he goes, 16 years. And I was like, what? I'm here on day one, and I'm going to be doing the same job and make the same money as you. And you've been in this job for 16 years? Surely something better came across his path, within the 16 years. But I can bet you that he was one of those people who would not change anything. He would not try anything new because he might have been afraid, he might have been lazy, you might make up whatever you want to make up about him. But for whatever reason, he didn't take any step to improve his life or to change his life. He just kept at the same place, at the same job, etc. Right? So that's Trevor, right? Okay. The thing number 6, the feature number 6, if you like, of high performing individuals is that they are creatively driven, right? So these people their jobs, their careers, the projects, the causes, the opportunities that they get involved with, they look for ways to be creative and to be expressive, to show themselves. You can't, fake it until you make it, if you like, from the respect of, being somebody else. You have to be yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're faking it all the time, then inside you're going to have this conflict. Inside you have this dichotomy, of like who you think, who you are, and who you're trying to pretend to be, and things like that, right? So you have to be yourself, and you have to find ways on whatever project you're engaging in, whatever business or whatever. You need to find ways to realize yourself, your own creative potential. So not everybody's going to do the same presentation. Not everybody's going to do the same training. Not everybody going to do the business in the same way, etc. Right? Everybody have their own little personality and their own talent. So you need to find a way how to express that, right? Very often these people who are high-performing individuals, they are creatives, they are artists, they are designers, they are storytellers, they are thought leaders, etc. They like to express themselves in whatever medium, right? Whether it's through painting or through video or through training or through public speaking or whatever it is, right? So they try to engage with people and affect other people's lives, right? And they're unapologetic, they're taking pride in their boldness and in their commitment to sharing their work and their ideas, right? So again, in this type of business that we are in network marketing, you have to develop that quality of being proud for what you stand for. Because, our industry is changing people's lives. Our business is changing people's lives. So you have to stop apologizing to people for sharing your ideas with them, right? You have to be bold and confident and take pride in what you have to share with other people, because what you have to share is a life-changing opportunity. And finally, and also, to do with this point, you have to act on the idea, because creativity is elusive. So very often you're going to get new ideas in the craziest of ways and craziest of places. I sometimes get new ideas while I'm sleeping. So wake up, and the first thing I do, I look for a notebook and a pen, and I start writing these things down. Or when I'm driving, or when whatever, I get new ideas all the time. But the worst thing you can do is when the new idea comes in, you go, oh, I'll do that later. I'll think about it. You'll forget about it, and it'll be gone. There's a law of diminishing intent, and it will disappear, right? Whenever you get a brand new idea, you should treat it like a gift from God, from universe, from your subconscious, whatever your beliefs are, right? But it's a gift. So you should treat it as such, right? You should straight away, write it down or put it in your phone, etc., and then act on it as soon as possible. If you have an idea, I should do that, do it. Don't put it away. Don't, let it disappear, etc. Act on that, right? Okay. And the last attribute, number 7, is that high-performing individuals are meaning makers. These people are meaning makers, right? They look for meaning in every day, in everything that are happening around them. Again, there's so many people who go through their life as zombies, right? They don't notice anything, right? They just going through the days like got up, ate, shower, work, come back, telly, bear, sleep. Get up, go to, right, whatever their routine is, right? And they don't even notice the magic around them. The beautiful, birds singing, and the amazing thing that their kid just done, and the amazing, thing that they just saw on the street, on whatever, right? They just go past all of that, and, for me, that would be such an empty life, right? So, we need to create these meaningful moments in our life, and these high-performing individuals, they always are looking for significant meaning in their lives, in their jobs, in their projects, in their businesses, etc., right? Because if all you see in this business opportunity is a way to make money, then it's so boring. Like for me, it would be just so boring if I only saw this as a way to make money and maybe get a free car. For me, that would be so empty. For me, this business is so much more. It's an opportunity to impact lives, of, changing people's mindset, changing people's finances, changing people's, lives, traveling the world, experiencing things, seeing things, etc., making these beautiful relationships with other people, etc. That's all what it's worth, right? And these high-performing individuals, when they look for meaning, they always look for the big picture. they zoom out, right? Because most people who are stressed in their life, they zoomed in. They only see what's in front of them. They all see all these little things and they get stressed out and all. There's another water bill came in and my car needs new thing and this, that, and the kids are screaming and they all see these little things and they miss the big picture, right? They miss what this is all about, right? They miss how amazing this life is and how hugely blessed they are. Like, do you know what's the chance of being born? The chance of you being born was 400 trillion to 1. Do you understand that? That's like you could win a lottery 20 times before you are born, right? This is like, it's such a rare thing to happen for you to be born, and so many people don't appreciate that, right? Like they don't even value the life that they were given, right? That's just the fact that you are alive and you're thinking and you're breathing is a miracle, right? But so many people don't see it as such, right? So they don't see that meaning. They don't see the big picture, right? And they lose the forest for the trees, right? Right? They get stressed out like, oh my gosh, I haven't got enough money to do this and that, etc. And they forget that there are people who are starving to death. There are people who haven't got a roof over their head. There are people who haven't got anything to put on their feet. There are people who, they don't have water and things. Like, it is insane how blessed most of us are, and we are still whinging and we're still complaining and we're still, not going 100% at our life. Like the opportunity we have in front of us, many people don't have. Like I was just talking to somebody, and they said that where they live, Skype is illegal. Right? Can you think about that, right? Skype is illegal there, right? Like there's places where YouTube is illegal, right? And information freedom is illegal, right? And things like that. Just think, like, I come from Lithuania, right? Which used to be part of Soviet Union. Like when it was Soviet Union, religion was illegal, right? They made warehouses of all the churches. You could not pray. There was, in communism, the only God was the government, right? There was no God. You were not allowed to pray, etc. Right? In old days, when we were occupied in Lithuania, we could not speak or write or read in Lithuanian. So people used to risk their life going across the border into Germany or other countries, printing books in Lithuanian and smuggling them across the border, books and newspapers, so that people could read the Lithuanian language, because it was banned. They could only do it all in Russian, right? Think about that, right? And now we can like literally grab a book, do whatever we want, write books if we choose to, publish them, etc. It is insane how blessed we are, right? But so many of us, we just take all of that for granted. The roads we drive in, the libraries that are available, the internet that is available, the health that we have, the so many people that we have available, etc. All of that being given to us. We inherited all of that. We didn't have to create it. We didn't have to invent it. We didn't have to develop it. Even this business opportunity. Some people say network marketing is hard, and it just drives me insane, right? Think about it. Do you need to develop the products? Oh no, the company does that. Do you need to hire a warehouse and keep all of that stock somewhere? Oh no, the company does that. Do you need to keep payroll and pay people and send them checks and money? Oh no, the company does all of that. Do you need to ship products to all of your team members across the country? Oh no, the company takes care of that. Do you need, you don't need to do anything, right? The only thing you need to do is, hey, watch this video. Hey, speak to my sponsor. Hey, look at this brochure. Hey, look at the sample of product. That's the only thing we need to do, right? And we can make insane money in this business, right? Compared to traditional businesses where people invest hundreds of thousands of pounds and go through all the stress that I just mentioned, right? They have to develop the product, invent it, advertise it, whatnot, right? And people say network marketing is hard, right? They don't know what hard is, right? So the high-performing individuals, they are meaning makers, right? They look to have worthy goals, worthy ambitions, right? They, as Viktor Frankl said in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he said that the real man's search in life is for meaningful existence, meaningful experience, right? People who survived concentration camps weren't the people who were strongest physically, who had the biggest muscle and who could take the beating and who could take the labor, etc. No. Most people who survived the concentration camp were the intellectuals. people who had a place in their head where they could go away when all of the pain was happening to them. Because people who had none of that meaning in their head, they could not find a meaning in life, and they couldn't find the why, the reason to survive. They would give up and die, right? They would give up to the pain, to the hunger, to the starvation, and they would die, right? But people who had that meaning, who had that huge goal, maybe their family, maybe their children, maybe, whatever reason to survive, they pulled through it, right? Whatever it took, right? Read that book. If you haven't read it, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, right? And these high-performing individuals, they positively interpret both their struggles and, their successes in life, right? So they don't go like, oh, I've been hit with this, so life is bad. No, you either succeed or you learn, right? There is no failure, right? You can only fail if you stop, right? If you give up. And the game is not over until you tell that it's over, right? You decide when the game is over, right? So these high-performing individuals, they create meaningful moments and memories with other people, right? They try to create meaning out of every experience, right? And enjoy every experience, right? But how can you develop all of these? Well, it all starts with a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to work on these. I'm going to become a more visionary. I'm going to become a person who looks for meaning every single day. Maybe look for that, every day, maybe at the end of the day, sit down and go, what were the 3 things that I'm grateful for today? What things I've experienced today that really, impacted it might be small things, it's not like winning a lottery and things like that, right? You might go, okay, what will I do today to build new relationships, to find new friends? To connect with other people more, maybe other people in my family, maybe people in my business. What can I do to connect with these people more? How can I challenge myself more, right? What sort of challenges can I set for myself, in business, in health, in relationships, etc., right? So all of these attributes, we can work on them continuously to sculpt ourselves into better people. Okay, guys, this is it. This is our training for today. I hope you got